September got shocked. I'm pretty sure I was reading the script on my iPad and I was like, because I just didn't anticipate it. It seemed like everything was going to happen perfectly the way that, I would imagine that everybody wanted it to. And of course, Walter doesn't even falter. He just takes the boy's hand and he goes straight into the portal and goes into the future. And so it was kind of devastating when I read that. I mean, I didn't want it to happen and I understand why it did and I think it's good writing. But it just crushes me, I think that the audience is going to really be moved by that moment, by his selflessness. For once, he has been completely selfless and has made the ultimate sacrifice, I think, to leave the people that he loves and cares so much about, and I think it's just wonderful and sad.
It's a bittersweet ending, but it is, character-wise, sort of in the spiritual sense of the show, it's the right ending. Walter committed the original sin, and he needs to pay for his original sin. And in its way, it allows him to go to his heaven, to his nirvana, which is into the future, into the world of pure thought, because that's where he would be probably happiest. But it also allows him to pay his pound of flesh, and in sacrificing himself allows his son and daughter-in-law and grandchild to now have an existence that they otherwise would not have.
I have always felt that Olivia was born to carry the weight of the world, and was born to do that alone. I shouldn't say that, because I think it's lovely that she has a happy ending, and I think it's lovely that they, love conquers all, and that they get that.
There's different Olivias in different times.
That's right. So one of them's sad.
I think there's the bittersweetness to the separation of the father and the son, but I think it's incredibly noble what Walter does, and I think the callback to the White Tulip is a nice, for those that have been watching so intently for all those years, it's a nice way of sewing up where all the characters are at the very end.
Oh, don't even get me started on the White Tulip. Well, that's a really touching moment, I think, not only for the world of the show, but also to the audience members because of our experience at this last Comic-Con that we went to. When we walked out there, somebody had arranged to have all the audience members draw a white tulip on a piece of paper and hold it up, and that was kind of, the audience's homage to the story and the cast and the writers. And so having them bring that back up after the effect that it's had on the audience and having them participate in the White Tulip, legacy was just a really smart, beautiful, cool move on the writer's part.
Walter's in a perfect world. We go, well, not a perfect world, he'd rather be with his son, but if he had to be somewhere else, he'd love to be up with some really smart people. And debating, I can imagine the debates he's having with them about the value of having human qualities within this extraordinary thing, which is what the little boy is. He combines both. The philosophical conversations they would have would be incredible, and the scientific conversations about possibilities and so forth would be amazing. And I think Walter would say, I can live with that. I kind of like that. And then maybe in a few years' time, he'd just hook a bit of time travelling, come home for Thanksgiving, I think, just to see Peter, just to miss the turkey.
When does season 6 start filming?
Right? No, I think that the show's had a really wonderful and full life, and I feel like it's time. I think it's time.